welcome to today's live chat all on Key Stage 2 computing. So today we will cover ways in which you can support your child at home with skills like coding, data collection and using the internet, which is perfect for this week being National Coding Week. So when your child is in Key Stage 2, they will study computing in more depth and build upon the skills developed in Year 1 and Year 2, such as the basics of algorithms, debugging simple programs, and learning how to be a responsible user of information technology, which is all things that we covered in Monday's live if you did want to go and have a little watch back on Key Stage 1 computing. So practicing these skills at home can be a great way to boost your child's confidence and complement what they will learn in the classroom. So in Key Stage 2, your child will study word processing, algorithms and databases in more detail. So with word processing, it covers typing, symbols, editing, undoing, redoing, saving, selecting and formatting. So all of the basics to support your child in feeling more confident when using word processing computer programs. So to support your child with word processing at home, you can suggest creating or up-leveling a document of their choice. We have a really useful resource which can be useful when it is a little bit tricky to navigate digital technology. So I can just share this resource on the screen now. This resource is really useful because it is a how-to guide all on word processing. So we've got things like typing, symbols, saving, and it goes through in a child-friendly way, top tips and lots of things to do with everything word processing. So this is a great resource to view on your device or to print out if you want to, and it is a booklet all about word processing. Once you've had a little look at word processing and your child has maybe had the opportunity to design and create a range of digital content, then you can have a little look at what they've done, and they should be able to independently have used the word processor program to type, edit, format and produce text. So if you have a device at home which allows you to do that, your child can explore it, pick a topic that interests them, research it, create certain types of documents on the topic, discussing with your child font size, style and formatting, and encourage your child to get creative, because creativity does allow your child to open up their minds and to view and solve problems with their own innovation. If you or your child are stuck on a certain function, that guide can be great for it. And we also have a parent guide that you can look at if you want to have a look at specific terminology further. Once your document has been completed, once your child's got to a point where they want to stop, this can be a great time to organise their digital world, which I mentioned in the Key Stage 1 live. So in Key Stage 1, your child will be taught how to organise, store and manipulate digital content, and in Key Stage 2 they should practice this independently. They might have learned how to save a document in a folder or how to organise items alphabetically, so encourage this at home too and ask them to organise folders on your device and discuss the importance of a device being password protected. If you would like to have a look at online safety in more detail with your child, we have a really useful resource, which again I can share now, which is a Parent's Guide to Online Safety. So in this guide, it just goes through everything that you might come across with your child if they're aged 7 to 11 with digital technology and online safety. So this is a really good time to talk about all of the different things that might come up with staying safe online, and it is also things that you might be facing for the very first time if it's new to your child. So it just gives lots of advice there for you as a parent if you wanted to have a little read of it. And again, you can read this digitally or you can print it off and have a little read. So in computing in Key Stage 1 and in Key Stage 2, algorithms are a big part of computing, which I mentioned on Monday. Simply put, it is a set of rules and instructions that can be followed to make something. So it's especially in a computer, but there's lots of ways you can encourage your child to learn about algorithms, some of which don't even involve a screen. So for example, this debugging drawing activity, which I can share with you now, and you'll be able to find in the comments, it explains to your child what an algorithm is, what debugging is. So if your child wants to then go over things and terms that they would have learned in Key Stage 1, there is things in there for that. And it explains what it is before giving your child a task to do. So for example, this debugging drawing algorithm activity, it can help your child practice their programming skills, and it won't even involve a screen. So it explores how to debug an algorithm, drawing instructions, and contain errors that your child's task is to then use the algorithm to detect any bugs and then correct them. And can they make sure that an algorithm is completely matching to their drawing? Screen-free algorithms can really help your child with the ideas behind algorithms and without necessarily using a computer. So it can also add that balance of screen time and screen-free time, while also allowing your child to make connections to coding and algorithms in an age-appropriate and engaging way. Your child can use their critical thinking and the skills for critical thinking as they gain an in-depth understanding of algorithms, which might relate to particular devices in which they use, and they might have to code. So with that game, they will also use their logical reasoning skills to predict a program, and they will also then think about what an outcome would be. They could discuss the importance of debugging and identify when there's a bug on a computer. This might be when something isn't working as expected. So in the drawing, it might be when an instruction isn't matching the drawing as expected. And in Key Stage 2, your child will learn how to debug a simple program in more detail and more independently than Key Stage 1. So making changes to an algorithm, improving it, and keeping the discussion going throughout the activity, and ensuring that you're encouraging lots of chances for creation, prediction, and debugging is a great way to explore algorithms at home without using a computer. One thing that might be new to your Key Stage 2 age child is programming is databases. So programming is a little bit more challenging than coding, as it involves developing the software from scratch, whereas coding is just writing the instructions for something that already exists. So a really useful resource to share with your child is this one, which I can share with you now, and it goes into detail all about databases and really explains to your child what databases are and explains the sort of programming that you could do. So that's a really useful way to first make your child aware of databases, and with programming being a little bit more challenging, it can include coding in the forms of algorithms, but it also requires other skills such as testing and debugging. So programming databases might be used to organise records, for example. And as we mentioned earlier, organisation is a big part of computing. So organising databases, which involves writing a set of instructions to code, usually looks something like the resource that I've just shown you. And to encourage your child to practice this skill, you could ask them to write their own branching database by writing a sequence of instructions for playing a favourite game, reminding them to use shapes and symbols to show the correct action before seeing if you or another family member can then follow their instructions for their programmed code. Remember, anything to do with computing, you can have a look at the terminology guide that I mentioned, and if there's any questions that you have, remember to put them in the comments. I hope you found today's live useful, and I am looking forward to seeing you soon.